have already done one session about supply accounting, right?
Yeah, correct. And one step left to finalize it, as I understood.
To tell you the truth, if I remember correctly from my side, from the supply side, we had explained everything that was to be, everything that supply accounting, that there is about supply accounting. I was not sure if you needed today to go through this again, or if you have some questions about this
Yeah, we
procedures.
stuck on last stage. We need to finalize some invoice with accounting department. You can check.
What do you mean finalize the invoice with the accounting? From my side, what I see in this page, for example, is that
Yeah,
you have already done the finalize of the
it's and
invoice.
yeah, we need to match how it called count.
Create journal entry.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So by pressing the create journal entry and pressing the option of that is on the top left, I see that the company that have been selected and the allocated period are these, let's say, correct based on what you have inserted.
Okay, let's will be.
So I believe that there is no ledger card for this specific company. That's the error that you're asking, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Give me a second to call my colleague, Mr. Leonardos, to see how he can help us, all right? 1 minute.
Hello guys, I'm sorry.
You are welcome.
So let's start.
Yeah, we already started waiting.
We already did it, Dmitry.
Yeah.
We're waiting, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm here.
Sorry, I'm waiting for Mr. Leonardos or someone from the accounting department to help us out a bit here.
Okay, waiting for Mr. Leonardo.
All right, 1 minute, and another colleague of mine will come and join us for a bit.
Okay, Maria, I want to explain where we stuck. From supply department, we finalize this case, insert invoice, etc. And now we want to accounting department. We will see this and will act with payment.
Sorry, can you please repeat because the mic was off?
Okay. From supply department, we finalize this case, and now we need to match this expenses to accounting budget. In order to accounting, we'll see this invoice and we'll pay accordingly.
So by pressing the create journal entry and pressing here OK, there's a missing ledger card missing, I guess, from the company.
Yeah. What means specified at row 1? Wait.
So probably it might be that the supplier doesn't have a ledger card in the address book. So let me see the supplier here, BP. So here we need to add a ledger card for the specific supplier in order to proceed with the creation of the commitment entry.
Could you please make it some quickly action to proceed?
What do you want me to insert here? Because I see that you have already created ledger cards.
But what wrong without
Anton,
this?
Anton, it's for which item should be this supplier? For oil or for fuel?
Okay, I guess it's spares.
Spares, yes. I think we don't have a ledger card for spares, but let's see
I
some.
think we can use any right now.
Any maybe let's try tax. Not tax at its result account. So maybe
This one.
No, this one. Let's try this one. Yes.
Hello, gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
hi.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Theophilus Langis. I'm a member of the Financial Applications Department. Now here, you will have to link the address book entry with a ledger card that you must create for your supplier. It must be a ledger card for your creditor, a payable open item ledger card, which is going to be credited when you create the invoice journal entry. So you do not have to link your supplier with an expense account. You will have to create a payable open item ledger card for the credit. This is the link that we need to establish here, not a link between the supplier and an expense category, a link between the address book contact and the payable open item ledger card of the supplier.
Okay, can we do it with this case?
Okay, let me show you. Give me a second to check your library first. Okay, so the thing is, this is mostly related to the accounting, and it is a part of the accounting department setup. For all your creditors, you will have to create ledger cards with type payable open item, and these will be the ledger cards that are going to be credited when you create invoice journal entries and are going to be debited when you create payment entries for your suppliers. And based on those
Yeah.
ledger cards, you are going to use the open items report later on in accounting to retrieve outstandings. So you will have to create those ledger cards for your suppliers.
So I'm sorry, my stupid question, but what's the difference between payable open type and result type of ledger cards?
Okay, the difference is the following. You will have to use the payable open item type for your ledger cards for all your creditors.
Yep.
And the results account type is the one that you are going to use for your expense accounts. The accounts that later on, when you create the closing year journal at the end of the year, those amounts will be transferred on your retained earnings. I'm talking accounting wise right now. So this is the difference. The payable open items ledger cards are the ones that you are going to use in order to retrieve outstandings on the accounting. So you see there is a whole section of reporting for that purpose here, an open item section that your accounting department will use to retrieve all the outstandings of your creditors that are due or are going to be due soon. So you will have to create ledger cards for your suppliers, agents, etc., with the type payable open items, or respectively for receivable open items, the other way around. And the results accounts type is going to be used for your expenses. I see there is only one ledger card with payable open items type. Maybe this is a test one.
Yes. Yes. But we created a ledger card with type result account. So maybe we have created wrong. Maybe you can try to show us ledger card with result account types, and maybe we can change some of them.
Let's see. Oh.
Yeah. For example, let's try some.
Okay, gentlemen,
ledger card.
may I interrupt you for a second? Give me just a minute.
Gentlemen, hello. My colleague had to leave, so I will take over from here. My name is Christos Leonardos. If you remember, I have already sent you an email about the ledger cards and the issue you had with supply in terms of posting. In this email that I'm describing, maybe we can find and share it to you right now. I'm explaining what are the accounts that you have opened here, and in these accounts you had opened the P&L, the expenses, as general, if I recollect. And also, you had only one dummy payable open item account. So, as my colleague explained, we need all your suppliers, all your creditors to be open here with the relevant record. This is for the accounting purposes. And these data, these accounts, will need to be linked in the address book with the relevant supplier that you have. So if we say that this is a valid supplier, let me see if this exists in your address book, or if it's a test, I'm not quite sure. It seems to be a test. Let's find one that you have already. Let's say this one, for example. Okay, let's say this is a supplier, okay, and you will use this in supply module. Then this record must be linked with the account in here. So here, if you see, we will find the record that you had opened before in the ledger cards. So the record is SSPT. So as you understand, we need to have the account created in the ledger cards and the address book created in the address book, because supply module checks only address book. It doesn't check account when they place an order, for example. So this means that for every creditor that you are using currently in your supply module, you need to open them in address book, first of all, and secondly, as a ledger card, as a payable open item.
Okay.
Maria, can we find the message that I sent to the people here?
Yeah,
I think it was before Easter holidays. Ήταν MC του TAF, αν δεν κάνω λάθος. Είναι 30 μέρες πίσω. Στον TAF. Okay, so gentlemen, let us share again so that you can see the message that we have already forwarded. Maybe it's more clear from this side.
You sent it on 29th of April.
Yeah, that's it. This is the message, and we've sent this to these people here, and I asked at the end to forward this to the accounting team. So the idea is, let me zoom a bit. You had a problem with posting in supply, right? So for every supply, I'm saying here that for every supply you are using the supply module, you need to link them in address book with its respective ledger card. That's what I said just now from the north side. So you need to have the address book, and then you need to have the relevant in the accounts tab here. You need to have the relevant link with the relevant account. And also from the checks I did, I see that there were no open item accounts in your accounting system. And here I have a few points for the accounting team. I don't know if this mail has been forwarded to the accounting team.
I will send them. I will send them now.
Yeah, please send, because otherwise you will not be able to post any invoices or accruals even from the supply. The whole concept of the whole mail here is that you need to open in the ledger cards, menu of the accounting setup, all accounts, all open item accounts, all creditors that you will be using in supply. Otherwise, you will not be able to post this to the accounting system. Do you have any questions on this?
Probably we need to proceed with this case, and if some question will appear, we'll ask you again.
If you want and helps you, for this case that you haven't supplied, we can create now the ledger card, and the address book is already there. We can create the ledger card right now together, and then try to post so that you can see that this is the solution to your problem. And
It will be great.
Sorry?
Yeah, it will be great.
Okay. So this case is, Maria, do you have it open, this case?
I think so.
And this one? Okay. This is it?
No.
It's okay.
Is there a possibility that this case was deleted?
Yeah, we can delete it.
No, I think this case here, it was deleted, but we can try, if you don't mind, the case that we have in front of us.
No, I delete rest cases.
Okay, then let's try it for this one. This is also a test for me.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Okay, so the supplier here, guys, is BP, okay?
Yeah.
So this means that you need to open in the accounting setup. I'm here right now, accounting setup, application topics, ledger cards. We need to open BP. So the codes that you will use depends on your requirements. For example, there are clients that for all creditors, they select a code like starting from S. So you have S001 to be BP, S002 to be Thanaos. You decide. Another approach could be like you use the first digit, 2 digits, for example, of the supplier surname. You choose how you want to do that. So for example, I will put BP 001. The next time you have someone starting with BP, you will be BP 002. That's an approach, as I said. I will select this as payable open items, and I will name this BP whatever, okay? And besides that, this is at least the mandatory to allow you to save. There is a warning here that says that there is no link with the balance sheet group. This means that for the ledger cards that you create, you need to link them with your chart of accounts. So for example, I guess there will be a level that we call suppliers. So you need to go here, and based on the correct code that you have, for example, you have suppliers for, I see that you have in both assets and liabilities.
Let's try the suppliers technical.
Okay, so I will use this for now, but you got what I mean, that for all your accounts you create, regardless the type, you need to link this with your chart of accounts.
Yeah, understood. Okay, and could I ask you another one stupid questions?
Sure.
We need to create ledger card for each our supplier or not?
Yes, I would say that at the moment. Okay, listen. From operation of the system, what you can do is create only your active suppliers at the moment. Or
Yeah.
for every case that you have, a new case that you have, you will need to ask your accountant to create this on spot. If you don't want, like, for example, you can take your 100 top suppliers that you use frequently, open them, and every time you have a new order and it's on a different supplier, you can create them on spot on both address book and ledger cards. This is an approach if you don't want to do a lot of manual work at the moment, let's say. Another approach could be that you will open all the creditors that you have historically, but this depends on the way you want to operate accounting. If, for example, you want to work on the accounting system fully, and you want to create opening balances for each supplier you had before joining Danaos, then you have to create the accounts of the suppliers and create opening balances entries for these. I'm giving you all the possible options that you can have at the moment, okay? So one good approach is to create the top suppliers you have at the moment. And every time there is a new request for a new supplier, you have to create this in address book or in the ledger cards and do the link as we'll show you right now. Or create for every supplier you had historically, or at least your active suppliers. So we created here BP. We link this with your chart of accounts. And then I will go to the address book, find BP from here. So I will search for BP. I guess this is it. This is the one you used in the supply module. And from accounts, I will come here and I will select here the ledger card BP. Okay, this is the one we created. So now there is a link between the address book the supplier has used in their case and the account of the supplier. So if we try now to post, I think, let me close this again. I will go to create invoice from here, create δεν ξέρω και τα δικά σου μετά.
No, go back here, just refresh it. Now I think it's
create invoice. Where is it? Page journal entry. It's locked.
It's locked. Does someone open it? Just press it again, refresh.
I will close maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So now we can create the journal entry from here. You will see that the supplier is BP, and here we have the link with the also with the relevant expense that this will fall on based on the supply settings that you have applied. And here I will click this button on the top. You see that there is a selection for company, journal date, and allocation period. So I will select here to post. This is the filing company that you have. As you see here, you have for every vessel, you have them selected as filing. This is something that needs to be discussed internally in the accounting if you want every vessel to be a filing or you want to use one company, for example, like Kisamos. So now I will post this entry. The entry was posted. There was no error this time. And if we go back to the supply here, you will see that there is this icon, which if I press, this is the entry that the system created automatically. So it credited BP with the relevant supplier BP that you use in address book and you used in the supply case with 12 USD and debited the MR Spence account.
So basically, this is the last step of the supplies that we needed to see.
Yeah, Maria, and how to accounting department will...
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Yeah, how to accounting department will be informed about this case, or could you show what's the table?
Basically, they are not informed with the form of alert, let's say that this invoice has fallen in their ledger cards, in their accounting system, but there are various reports in the system to see the created entries, for example. One way is, for example, to run this report ledger cards and see all the transactions they have either on BP or the other account we use, the MR spares. So if I try for BP up to today, for example, I will see all the transactions we have on the BP here. This is the entry we created. Another way is to check this report on application topics, entries log, general entries log, entry date. And these reports, you can put, for example, today's date, 16. You can also filter by specific user. Εισηγήσαμε. Έχουμε θέμα με το account. Δεν έχω φτιάξει τους λογαριασμούς ακόμα. Ναι, τους εξηγούμε το τι και πώς. Λοιπόν, I'm doing a run here. I can also filter by user if I like. So there is the option here where it is. There is no filter. User, yeah. So for example, from here, you can filter with specific users from supply to check the entries they created. And this is the entry that was created today, okay, from supply. And the accounting team can edit this entry, go inside here, and if everything is okay, they are able to validate this entry and approve it. So here, as you see, we have a problem because it says that the ledger card is not allowed for this company. Because the MR spares, you have a validation on the ledger side. So if I go here on the ledger cards, search for the account MR spares, you see you have restricted that to go only for company Kisamos, which is a mistake since we are talking about a vessel account. So if I remove this validation from here and go back to the journal entry, the entry now is able to be validated. Okay? And again, as I told you the previous time, there is in the entries log on the accounting, there is a report journal status where you can basically run for the period that you like, for the company that you like, and see all the entries that have been created based on their status. So there is a filter here for all entries, all problematic entries. So if I put problematic, this is the entries basically that have not been validated, or there is a balance here, as you see. They don't balance with each other. So what you can do is right-click on the entry that has that needs to be validated, edit that, get inside the entry, action, validation. It's the one that we just created. Sorry, let's take another one. Edit the entry, see the entry that is here, validation, and approve the entry in case there is no problem. In this case, for example, you see that we have used this account, probably it's an old entry, and there is no account at the moment in your accounting system. We have deleted that. It was a test case. Things like this we can figure out later. I mean, the purpose now is to start working on the system, post entries, and your team to validate. And for the old data, you can send us a list with the problematic entries that will remain here, and is for dummy records, and we can delete them.
Is there something else that you would like us to inform you about? Are these understood?
Probably yes. Guys from accounting department, is it what you need? Alexei, Andrei.
Yeah, from my side, it's everything is clear. So we will have like ledger accounts, and then we have payables, and then if something we can, if it's not validated, we can everything check in journals. And understood.
So Andrei, you don't see any problems, and you fully understand how it works. Yes.
Currently, yeah. Don't have any questions.
Yeah. Alexei.
Guys, just for clarification, is it right that transaction will be posted by supply department?
This depends on you. There are companies that prefer that the posting of the invoice to be done by accounting department and not from supply. There are other companies that they say it's okay for the supply to just post the entry because they don't mess with financial data. They just press a button and they post the entry. So it's up to you to decide your process on that.
And the second question, for example, if we have one supplier with different with different accounts, which will be attached, for example, spares, maybe some food, oil, and some, etc., etc. For every transaction, we should create a new ledger card, yes? For example, for this counterparty, or not?
You mean regarding the cost centers, right?
Yes. Because, for example, one counterparty can have different different effect on our P&L lines. Yes, for example, it can be spares, it can be something else, it can be fuel, etc., etc. And for we need to create a new ledger card for one counterparty, or how it works.
This is not the idea in the house. You don't need to link your counterparties with specific cost centers. Here in the ledger cards, you have to create all cost centers as we have here, as result accounts, as my colleague previously said. You have to create them all here as cost centers. These are all cost centers. And then, based on the selection your supply department will have done here, based on the department, this department called spares has been linked in
item, but still
in here, in the item ledgers from supply, they have linked the spares department and the codes under the spare department with specific ledger card. Okay, so if you use BP, they ordered this. This order was done on BP, so the system knows automatically on which cost center this invoice will fall. So there is no direct link, let's say, between supplier and cost centers in the accounting system. This is all declared from the supply department based on the order that they have done. So
okay, for example, if we will find some mistake later, how we can correct it?
From accounting perspective or from supply perspective?
From accounting perspective.
From accounting perspective, if this has fallen the wrong cost center, there is the option to allow you here to edit. Right now, it's not editable. You cannot perform any changes on an entry coming from other applications like supply, but we can unlock that. So in this case, if we unlock that, you will be able to modify the code that has been used here, or even break down in further codes. Is this something that you like to to unlock this and be able to modify the entry coming from supply.
Okay. Okay.
Just think about it and let us know if you want to be able to edit the entries coming from supply. Right now, you're not able by default from the system, and you just can change, for example, the due date, the narrative you see. There are specific ways that you can change.
And just for clarification, general ledger will be attached to department, not to counterparty, yeah?
The general ledger is
General ledger card will be attached to department, not to counterparty.
Yes. From
Okay.
here, what we showed before, it's on the department, but
you can either link it with specific catalogs or even specific groups of the catalog.
Yeah, right now this is a general here, but if you want for specific catalog to apply different or item to apply different ledger card, you can decide it here, select it here and save. So for all items under this department will fall on this account MR spares.
But this specific one?
Yeah, in the case of Turbo Charter, it will fall on this account.
And the same can be selected for all departments. So we can have, let's say, the same catalog linked with two different departments. You can either link, one group in the department cabin stores, for example, to ledger card 1, and in the chemicals, the same department, you can link it with another ledger card, a different one.
Okay. Okay. In reality, it's very complicated, guys. Sorry, I worked with a lot of different systems, but Danaos is very complicated. Very. I don't understand why it's so simple things are so complicated. Sorry for my emotions.
One more clarification, please. Maybe it's linked with the last question. If one supplier have invoices in different currency, should we create different ledgers cards or something? Or it's not depend of currency?
You mean like, for example, you have BP in Euro USD, right?
Yeah, correct.
No, you don't need to create a different account for this because the accounting system accepts multi-currency and multi-company, has a multi-currency and multi-company functionality. So based on the retrieval argument you will put here, you may have BP entries in Euro, USD, whatever, for the same account, I mean. You use this account, and you have filters to filter, for example, for specific currency. Okay, so you don't need to break down your accounts based on different currencies. This can be done through address book though. If, for example, you have a BP in Euro or a BP in USD and you want your supply department, to choose the correct one and link that with a specific currency for their purposes from here, then in this case, it's okay. But from the accounting perspective, no need.
Okay, thank you.
Just one account, no matter on which vessels you will use it or companies, no matter on which currency you will use it or not. Just one account is enough.
Okay, and I have like one more question. If you make some mistakes and we would like to, like, for example, amend the cost centers, do we need to amend it in both sides, or like only, is it double entry, or like one entry we need to amend in both sides? Or
it depends. If, for example, on a specific case, like you're not happy with the budget code that the system used, you can do it on spot and change just the journal entry. If the cost center is wrong in general, you have to do it in both supply and journal entry. If I change it here to another account, then the next time that this, we will post a new invoice for this catalog, then it will fall on the correct account.
so it means if we choose like the correct catalog in the beginning, so we only change general ledger and that's it.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
You can put like a general account here, and in the accounting system, in your accounting entry, if you want to change the cost center for budget purpose, perhaps, you can do it through from there. And there is another functionality, I think Maria has mentioned that in the past, that it's called item budget allocation. So before the posting of the invoice to the accounting, the supply department has the option to deselect the default account that exists here, okay, and put a different account than the general one. So there is these icons here that this is according to the setup we have in the item ledgers, this account. If we had changed that and put a different one, it would be in orange. So you will know that this was changed by the user.
Okay.
So if
Item
you
budget
change it-
allocation.
Yeah, so if you change it here, the entry that will be posted will fall on the amended account.
Okay. So once it's amended, it will be yellow or like orange, or we can choose the color, whatever.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, guys, if we covered all your questions, can you see?
Yes, thank you.
Do you have any other questions for the supply module?
No, from my side, thank you.
All right.
Okay, then have a look also to the email of Mr. Leonardos, and if you have any other questions, please let us know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.